Sure.
You can do however you want.
My singing voice is.
I know. I'll put it in your key.
No.
I won't even play. I'll just let you start it, and then I'll join. Okay? It'll be just peachy.
So what do you think? Barhu or Amidah?
He says Barhu.
Barhu. Okay. Thanks, Jonah. I'll call you up. We'll do like Shalom Aleichem or something, and I'll call you up. Okay.
Did the sound guy show up?
No.
Oh. Did the sound guy say
Hi.
Thank you. Looking to see if Linda Miller is here tonight, because she is, just in case. Because I'm going to do, we're doing some honoring of people tonight, and I'm going to do Dodie Lee to start. And so if you feel inclined to come up and dance, you are welcome to do so. Fine. We're going to be on page 129 at the top. This song says, this blessing says, "My beloved is mine and I am my beloved's, who browses among the lilies. Who is this that comes up from the desert in clouds of myrrh and frankincense? You have captured my heart, my sister, my bride. Awake, O north wind, come, O south wind." From Song of Songs. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshanim. Mi zot olam min hamidbar, mi zot olam. Shoshanim, Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshanim. Li baptini achoti chala, li baptini chala, li baptini achoti chala, li baptini chala. Va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshanim. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshanim. Uri safon uvo iteman. Uri safon man. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshanim. 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 Thank you.
Thank you. There's a reason we're doing wedding music and wedding dancing. I'll explain in a second, although I think everyone knows. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos to all of you. It's nice to see so many of you tonight. It's been a tough week in this state. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and the families of two more mass shootings in California. Also, we acknowledge that today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, so we want to acknowledge that important reminiscence all over the world, not only in our state. But we are here tonight not to mourn, but to celebrate. We're here to celebrate Shabbat, but we are also here to celebrate the upcoming wedding of our education director, Leah Savage, and her fiancé, Joseph. And that's why we had the wedding music. So I'm going to call them up a little bit later, to offer them some words of my own and a blessing. But I think what I'd like to do now is invite the two of them to come up and light our Shabbat candles. And you all can follow along on page 120 in your prayer books. And I think some of you may have little candles on the table that you can go ahead and light as well. Okay. I might want to just use the matches.
No, she's.
I don't trust myself with matches.
Oh, good.
The lighter's fine. It's the candles that are tricky.
Yeah.
All right, take your time.
Okay, we'll have to use a match. This is why I don't use matches. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
A little bit later. We're going to continue our service on page 142 with the singing of Shalom Aleichem. And we all know the world needs more peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
The Chatzi Kaddish is on page 144.
Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bi'alma Divrach, Hirute V'yamlich Malchute, B'chayechon Uv'yomechon, Uv'chaye Decho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Ba'agala, Uv'izman Ka'ariv, Ve'imeru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach, Li'alam Ulal Me'amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'arit, Romam V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitale, V'yithalal, Shemei Kudusha Barichu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiram B'yama, Ve'imeru, Amen.
We continue with the Baruch Hu on page 146. Jonah, would you please come up to the beam, and everyone else, please rise if you're able. Please remain standing. We're going to turn to page 149, and I'd like to ask you to please join me in reading the English at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai our God.
Your wisdom sets
the way on which time and season glide.
Your breath guides the sail of the stars.
Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day and to night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. And let's also read together at the top of the next page. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Eleni and Luke.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך וביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אליכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi Chamocha is on page 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot. Nora tehilot. Osef Chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot. Nora tehilot. Osef Malchutecha ra'u banecha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Zeli anu v'amru Adonai imlo le'olam va'ed mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot nora tehilot
Page 161. Traditionally, at a Jewish wedding, the bride and groom stand under the chuppah, a kind of sukkah, a sort of canopy meant to offer protection to the bride and groom. It's also meant to represent heaven and to convey the idea that God is with the couple at that moment of kiddushin, of sacred union, but also in the years ahead of their marriage together. Every Shabbat, we say a prayer where we also ask God to provide a chuppah of sorts, a sukkah to protect us as we enter into the night and into the week ahead. And we're going to sing that song, Hashkivenu, in a moment, but first read the English translation with me at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, Shalom. V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Please take a moment now for your own silent thoughts and prayers.
Page 180, top of page 180. Elohai netzor l'shonim mira, usatai medaber mirma, v'em kalalai nafshi tidom, v'nafshi ka'afar lakol tieh Elohai, Elohai. Elohai netzor l'shonim mira, usatai medaber mirma, v'em kalalai nafshi tidom, v'nafshi ka'afar lakol tieh Elohai, Elohai. Elohai netzor l'shonim mira, usatai medaber mirma,
Venim kalalai nafshi tidom, nafshi ke'afar lakoti Elohai, Elohai. Petach libi, petach libi, petach libi. B'toratecha
Elohai
Nisor l'shani mera V'slatai medaber mirama Venim kalalai nafshi tidom V'nafshi ke'afar lakol tieh Elohai, Elohai, Elohai Nisor l'shani mera V'slatai medaber mirama Venim kalalai nafshi tidom V'nafshi ke'afar lakol tieh Elohai, Elohai, Elohai.
At this point in the service, our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, healing of spirit, and healing of heart. And we ask God to bestow the bracha, the blessing of refuah shlema, full and complete healing on the following men and women from our congregation or those known and loved by our community. Ilana Massey, Kevin Brackett, Michelle Camisia, Joshua Hyman, Diane Butler, Jesse Friedman, Marjorie Gilbert, Michael Blend, Jim Mates, Janet Marbury, Harriet Lehman, Brenda Flood, Bob Massey, Bill Lenish, Sharon Blevis, Sharon Hagan, Joan Elson, Michael Edwards, Alan Goldstein, and Sherry Cohos. And if you have a name that you'd like to add to this list, please do so. The Mishaberach prayer is on page 511.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom again. Good Shabbos to all of you. Thank you for being here tonight. The Torah portion for this Shabbat is called Bo. and it occurs toward the very beginning of the book of Exodus. Now, when I was in rabbinical school, I had a professor say that the book of Genesis, which we've just finished, in many ways represents the physical birth of the Jewish people. We have the stories of the patriarchs and the matriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. We have all of their family dramas, all of the sibling rivalry, the favoritism, sometimes even violence that occurs or that might occur between them. And all of that comes to an end when the book of Exodus starts. And in this week's Torah portion, God tells Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh to free the Jewish people from their slavery, from their bondage. But the reason the book of Exodus is viewed in some ways as the spiritual birth of the Jewish people is because just a few chapters from now, from this Shabbat, in a Torah portion called Yitro, or Jethro, we have the revelation at Mount Sinai, and the 10 Commandments are given to the Jewish people. And not only the 10 Commandments, but many of the other rites and rituals and ceremonies that make up what most people today would think constitutes organized religion. And in that way, the book of Genesis is the physical birth of the Jewish people. The book of Exodus is the spiritual birth of the Jewish people. There is no Judaism before Sinai. There is no religion per se in the book of Genesis. So some would argue that the book of Exodus is even more important than any of the other books of the Bible, because without it, we would have no faith tradition. Now, in a synagogue, the spirit of the synagogue has to be our youth, because without our youth, we have no future. Without our youth, we have no Jewish men and women, ultimately, who are going to lead us, who are going to teach us, who are going to guide future generations. And no youth, no students at a synagogue really can become fully actualized, fully evolved as young Jews without an education director. And we have been blessed to have Leah Savage as our education director, not for too long, about a year and a half at this point, so something like that. But she has already made such great impact on our community. And we are so honored and delighted to be able to honor you and Joseph with your wedding coming up in, 3 weeks? In just about 3 weeks from now. So I'm going to ask you to come up to the bima. And I want to just offer a couple of words to you, to both of you. You can come a little closer. I can't speak for everyone here, but I'm a rabbi, so I will anyway. As I said, you have had such a great impact here in terms of educating our kids, engaging them, inspiring them, like Sinai. And I know what our community has been like in the past, and I know what you have done for us now, building on some solid foundations. And we are just so excited to continue working with you, to continue being blessed by you, to continue to have you guide and educate our kids. And Joseph, we've only met for the first time tonight. I know at L'Chaim, I was busy doing my thing and you were doing yours, and we didn't really meet, but I know how committed the two of you are. I know how excited the two of you make one another, and I'm just so excited for the next chapter of your lives as you move forth as a couple together, wherever that journey may lead you, literally and figuratively. What I'd like to do now is open the ark and ask everyone else to please rise. And I'd like to offer what is arguably the oldest blessing, or one of the oldest blessings in the Jewish tradition, the priestly benediction. Rabbis often say this at joyous events, and I can think of few other events as joyous as the wedding of you, our education director, to Joseph. We are so happy for you. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence be with you and grant you peace. And let each and every one of us say, Amen. Mazel tov. Okay. And why don't you stay here? We're going to continue with the Aleinu on page 586. So please join us. Gordon, would you come back? Oh, and Noah, come on up.
You just can chant it. You can do that. Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Aleinu l'shabech ladon hakol, latekiru la'leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye harason, v'lo samanu k'mishpon hotadama, shelo sampelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kekol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, Umishachavinu modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, v'melech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom ha'u, yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad.
Please be seated. So do you guys know yet where you're going on your honeymoon? You don't know yet. Do you know when you're going to go? Okay. You don't know when, you don't know where, but that's okay because it'll be something special whenever you decide. It is my honor to invite up our past board member and past president, Mark Samrick, to share some important announcements with all of us tonight.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
First of all, Mazel Tov to the two of you, and we, on behalf of the congregation, I just want to wish you all the very best. It is so heartwarming tonight to see so many young people here tonight, and I think a lot of it is because of, I know it's because of you and what you have done for them, and I thank you also for that. Announcements this evening. CBS Religious School will begin at 9:30 this Sunday. Our first Shabbat of February will be the annual HIAS Refugee Service with our own Refugee Settlement Fund head, Marlo Cohen, speaking, and the oneg to follow is in honor of Harriet Spitz's birthday. Don't forget February 11th, I want to say this right, we have Judo with the second Saturday tribe. Rabbi Niles will be teaching basic martial arts, so wear comfortable clothing. Please RSVP online. CBS will be hosting the Napa Valley Chamber Orchestra for a concert on Sunday, February the 12th. At 1:30, all are welcome to the free afternoon. The next day, on Monday at 10 a.m., February 13th, Talking Jewish Tribe will gather with discussion on what is your relationship to Israel and how do we talk about it. Wednesday, the 15th, the Tribe for Your Right to Resilience will meet at 6:30, led by Catherine Goldman. And I'd like to give warm birthday wishes this week. First of all, to our first husband, Robert Solomon, Myrna David, Luke Simon Fatucci, Anna Charney, Megan Charney, Barbara Nemko, Ruby Finkelstein, Roy Barish, and Mara Blevis. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Mark. And I just want to add a couple things really quickly. First of all, I want to thank our teens for helping us to lead the service. Elenia, Noah, Luke, Jonah, and Zahara. I also want to thank Roberta for helping to sing that beautiful song with Gordon and Zahara. And I want to acknowledge a special guest, our soon-to-be rabbinic intern, Art Grant. Art, would you raise your hand? He's come here from the wilds of Roseville. And Art is going to be starting with us at the end of next month. On February 24th, he's going to be giving the Devar Torah. You're going to be receiving information about the internship, about his background very, very soon. But Art wanted to be here tonight to support Leah and Joseph and to learn the lay of the land a little bit. We've had several meetings. We're really excited, Art, for you to be with us. Our first ever rabbinical intern. So we're very excited. Good. Thank you. I'd like to invite Roberta to come back to the bima, as well as Joseph and Leah. We have something we want to give you. Come on back. Sometimes words, especially in Judaism, words are enough, but sometimes you need something concrete to remember a moment by. So we didn't want to just offer you words and a blessing. We wanted to give you something on behalf of our congregation to honor this exciting moment in your lives. Roberta, do you want to add anything?
Just mazel tov, and I hope you guys have a wonderful and happy life ahead of you. I'm sure you will. So
Thank you so much.
This is on behalf of CBS for both of you.
Thank you.
And may you enjoy it for a long time.
Okay, mazel tov.
Mazel
Thank you.
tov.
At this point in our service, our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, those who have died both recently and in seasons past. We remember those who have died during the past year. David Ernesto Kaplan, Pat Pate, Annette Goldberg, Maggie Sherman, Sandra Banco-Fichtenberg, Nicholas Huff, George Montano, Dean Wilson, Norman Charney, David Alpert, Renee Munoz, Michael Kossin, Paul Dworsky, Ed Eston, Micah Beisel, Jill Daly Katz, Gabriel Harrison Escalera, Colonel Ed West, Joe McCaffrey, Beverly Eigner, Ruth Morlett, Lords Blake, Othello Thornton, Alan Rosen, and Fred Goldman. We also remember and honor the Yartsites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Jean F. Barnes, Jewel Altman, Richard Silverman, Lillian Gross, Chaim Vitali Sulam, Marv Cooper, Muriel Gross, Rose Barish, Gershon Ben David, Sardu Washington Abrahams, Ruth Jones, Dorothy Mosen, Muriel Broski, Marshall Levin, Stephanie Rab-Axner, and Irving Novak. And if anyone has a name they wish to add, I invite you to please do so. If you'd like to. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Please rise if you're able. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah be'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomekon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael b'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach be'alam u'lamei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kusha b'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma d'vimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all those in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved And let us all say amen. Please be seated. We have a wonderful meal waiting for us after services. By Leah's request, it's pizza, plus some other surprises as well. So we're going to have our final song now, and then we'll do the Motzi and Kiddush together.
Okay, turn to page 625. We're going to end with a traditional song, prayer, with a different tradition, but still a traditional melody that may be familiar to many of you. It goes like this. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivrach, Le'nasa V'chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Now we would do the next part, but after probably 5,000 weddings that I have played at, I don't remember how it goes. So we're going to do that part again for the next verse. V'acharei kiklot hakol levado yimlok nora v'hu haya v'hu hover v'hu yeh b'tifira v'hu echad v'ein sheni l'hamshilo lehachbira v'li reshit v'li rachlit v'lo ha'oz ha'mizmara v'hu eli v'chai go'ali v'tzur shchevli b'eit sahara v'hu nisi umanos li not kosi b'yom ekra v'yado avkid ruchi b'eit ishan v'a'ira v'im ruchi geviyati Adonai li v'lo ira. And then we gotta do what's the one I was gonna do? You know the one that you sing when, I forgot it. This one threw me off now. I'm so thrown. Yeah, that one. Simon Tobin. I forgot the tune. Senior moment. Mazel tov, Simon Tov, Mazel tov, Simon Tov. Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Sivron, Mazel tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel tov, Simon Tov. Yehelanu.
Thank you. Well, we've given Leah and Joseph some words, a blessing, a gift, but I can't think of a better way to honor you than with your students. So what I would like is to invite any Shorashim or religious school students to come up for the Kiddush and Motzi. And Leah, why don't you join us? And everyone else, would you please rise? Come on, Aviv. Come on, Geffen. Just stand in the middle. You stand with your brother. Whoop. Come on up. Do we have any more? Amira? Who else? Zoe, come on up. You don't want her? Okay, let's do the Kiddush together. Leah, would you hold this up?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Re peri hagafen. Amen. You l'chaim.
I messed myself up.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, we have the Motzi. Come back.
Motzi, stay up here. If you don't want to eat, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's,
They're in such a hurry to get to the pizza. Why don't you guys grab around the platter? And let's all do the motzi together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avon. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat,
Hey,
Shabbat,
Catherine, would you do me
Shabbat,
a-
Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat.